Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the channel. I am your boy, Will the Thrill, as always, and I want to start off by saying, as we always do, that we are thrilled to have you with us. Be you Clydeside, Stateside, or worldwide, my intention is to deliver from Atlanta to the world. So, as such, it's my thrill, my honour, and my pride to present on behalf of the Scottish Falcons and Friends show and AFN International LLC. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, to re-enter the locker room for the first of what will be a fun double-header tonight. A lot of big games on the horizon from the round of 16. And with that being said, two of the teams are now walking on to the pitch as we speak right now. That being the five-time world champions Brazil, and of course Erling Haaland and Norway. So we're going to find out together over the next 2 hours or so whether we're going to see a Samba in the quarterfinals or whether it's going to be a Viking row. Either way, I think it's going to be a very, very fun matchup potentially with whoever's coming out to face them in the quarterfinals. But yeah, this is a game that I'm certainly looking forward to. So we're just about to go through the national anthems of the respective nations, starting off with Brazil. And while we're just getting warmed up, I mean, what a game it has been. What a collection of games it has been. It's been such a fun tournament. A lot of electricity, a lot of excitement in the air. It's been quite palpable. You can sense it. The North Americans have embraced soccer or football on a level that, in some ways, they never maybe previously had. And but obviously, as I say, the US are doing well, flying high, and we're going to be bringing you those guys tomorrow, late on for us over in the UK. But I'm happy to stay up and present that for the family stateside. So as I say, this is rekindling, if you will, one of the biggest rivalries from the English Premier League, that being Norway forward Erling Haaland and of course Vinicius Junior. They have a little bit of an on again, off again love-hate relationship, if you will. So this will just be one more chapter to throw into that. One more little X factor to bear in mind if you're thinking about players to watch and all that good stuff. I think Matheus Cunha is also going to be a threat for Brazil as well. But it's just how well this wing attack of the Brazilians is going to be able to work against the stout style of defence that Norway play. Obviously, we have seen that they are susceptible to some of the bigger teams in the tournament. We saw what France done to them during the group phase with a 4-1 win. And again, you're facing a world-class talent there in Erling Haaland. He's tall, he's long, as I say, about 6'3" or so. Long stride, powerful as well. So he's going to be tough to stop if he gets going. 5 goals in the tournament already. Vinicius Junior just behind there on 4 as well, with Cunha on 3. So it's going to be exciting. Definitely a good matchup, and as I say, just the start of a big double header, because we will be bringing you live from 1 a.m. our time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the big game from Mexico City, from El Estadio Azteca, that being co-hosts Mexico against our neighbours to the south in England. So it will be fun to see the hosts go up against the former world champions. Obviously, 2 teams ranked in the top 15, as we're I must say we're not seeing here. Norway obviously ranked 31 in the world, but with that being said, there's your X factor right there, in Erling Haaland. So I think he's going to be a big part of whether Norway go through or go out tonight. But nevertheless, I think it's going to be a very, very fun game. And if any of you do obviously want to chime in the chat or join me on the panel, just let me know and we can make that happen. So as always, this is open to the frequent Fliers family. So as I say, you may see some special guests throughout the evening. But if not, it's my honour and pleasure to keep you company throughout the games. So as I say, the handshakes are being done now. The ceremony is being respected before the game goes and kicks off. So I'm not one for score predictions, as you know. But with all that being said, I think both guys are going to get a goal, both Vinicius Junior and Erling Haaland. But I do believe that it's going to come down to a late goal. But I have Brazil taking this 2-1. If it's gun to head, and I do have to make a prediction, that's what I would say. But I think we're in for one heck of a game of football here. So yeah, as I say, it's going to be fun to see what sort of shape Brazil are going to come out in here, how far back Norway are sitting as well in response. Obviously, are they going to look to break on the counter? This is all good stuff that we're going to be able to see over the next 90 minutes, possibly 120. But I guess only time will tell. And obviously, you've got to worry about Uncle Mo in the building as well. Momentum. So that we've seen how well that can shift, or obviously in the case of Cape Verde and their Cinderella story, how much momentum can affect you in a tournament this size, especially with the fans being as excited as they are. I mean, the hosting has been incredible. So gracious and amazing have been the Americans, the Canadians, and the Mexicans, respectively. Obviously, this one's coming from East Rutherford, so home of the Giants and the Jets. When we do see the game later on, you'll be talking about Mexico City, La Ciudad de Mexico. And basically, when you talk about altitude, that may or may not be a factor tonight. But with that being said, it's going to be a very, very fun game up in the mountains. So yeah, I mean, as I say, I'm here for it. And now we have the teams here. So Brazil and now Norway. I expect Antonio Nusa to be quite a threat for the Norwegians going forward as well. But of course, that Norwegian backline will have to hold. They'll have to perform better than they did against the French if they want to advance. But yeah, I think it's all going to come down to number 9 there in Haaland and how well he's able to perform. So here we are then. The teams are huddling, just getting ready for kickoff now. And it really has been fun to throw some more sports into the mix. As I say, this is what the Locher-Room was kind of put in place for. Des and I were obviously talking a lot about the Braves, the Hawks, all that good stuff. As such, as I say, we wanted to branch out, and with the World Cup especially being hosted in North America, and us being the international birds, the worldwide side of the AFN brand, we kind of saw it as our duty to provide some of that fun for you all. As I say, the energy's been palpable coming over. We can feel that as well, and obviously how well Boston embraced the Tartan Army and all that good stuff. Sadly, Scotland's not there anymore, so I'll have to live vicariously through various other teams. But that's not something exactly that I'm not used to. Being a Scotland fan is very much like being an Atlanta Falcons fan. You pretty much know what you sign up for, but with all the slings and arrows that come with it, you just keep on rolling, keep your head down, keep going. But the game is live, and we are go. Brazil versus Norway in the round of 16 of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Brazil beginning by playing from the back. And please, if you are in the chat, whether it be in the World Cup, I know we do have a worldwide audience, so give us a shout out, let us know where you're listening from, where you're watching from, and whether or not you plan to consume one or possibly several adult beverages tonight, because I know some of our brothers down south have that plan in place. But yeah, I mean, however you spend this evening, if you choose to spend it on here with us, then you're very much welcome. As I say, Clydeside, Stateside, worldwide, as we always say, that's the goal. So for anyone that's stopping in, we do appreciate you know how much you're loved, and thank you for tuning in, whether it's for a second or whether you're staying from kick-off to final whistle. But here we go, as I say, Brazil playing from the back, trying to stretch Norway out, but Norway, of course, have that speed. Maybe a dangerous tactic, but we're seeing early on in the game sort of the shapes that these teams are looking to go for. Norway looking to press a little bit. And obviously the speed of the games has increased slightly, given the new 5-second rule on throw-ins as well. So the pace of the games has been better for this World Cup, I will say that. I don't pay much attention to club football anymore, although whenever Scotland play or whenever there's a major tournament, I will don the old fit my boots, as we say. But no, I mean, it's been a stellar tournament so far, so shout out to the co-hosts. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be a high-paced game. I think it was definitely something that we knew going in, was this game was going to be fast. There was going to be rapid breaks, and it was going to be fairly end-to-end. So I'm looking forward to this. We're 2 minutes in, and it started off quite lively. So long may it continue, and Norway are on the break here. Norway off the wing. They're into the Brazilian box. The ball is played back, and it's 1-0 Norway. It's 1-0 to the Vikings. 2.5 minutes just over. 2 minutes and 42 seconds on the clock, and the goal is in. It's Brazil 0, Norway 1. Just a fantastic break there by the Norwegians. It may be called into question that was offside. The move from the wing there, the little chipper ball placed back in, and then a fantastic placement on the shot there by number 6, straight into the top corner of the Brazilian goal. No way you stop that. No keeper in the world would, but I think it has been ruled offside, hence the goal will not stand. But a sensational threat there by Norway early. Not to get too excited too soon there, I do apologise, but the score remains at this moment 3.5 minutes played, Brazil 0, Norway 0. But if Norway can keep up this pace, they look to be very, very dangerous tonight. Very, very fast. Looking to maintain possession. I think this may be one of these games where one goal might decide it. I'm not sure. I think it may go one or two ways. It's going to be very low scoring, a 1 goal, but it's going to be a thriller, or we're going to see 3-3 extra time, penalties, all that good stuff. I hope it's a nail biter. Just as a sort of casual viewer, I like both these teams on an objective level. So yeah, I just want to see a good game of football tonight. I hope a lot of the guys in the chat would feel the same. You can let me know your score predictions, your players to watch, anything you want me to have a crack at answering for you as well. Just drop it down in the chat below, and as well, remember to drop your red and blacks. You know I love to see the love down there in the chat from the family worldwide. So yeah, just keep it coming, and I will do the same. But Norway pushing forward again on the 5-minute mark. Nice move inside there by the Norwegians. Now taking it out to the wing. Looking for a nice cross here, but it's gone out. Deflection taken. It looks like a Norwegian corner. Norway with 6 bodies in the box for the upcoming corner now. And the corner's whipped in towards the near post. Nice and easy. Easily fielded there by the Brazilians. Referee having a word. Just a little bit too much pushing and shoving for his liking. And I feel like there's been a lot of complaints as to the consistency of the referees at this tournament, but I feel like this guy's been okay. I mean, we are only 6 minutes, it's early days yet, but yeah, it's been kept going, and the resulting corner's whipped in, and Brazil are able to defend it. Ball's cleared, but not completely. And the Brazilians can break here. What can they do with possession? Not much, as it turns out. And the Norwegians Nice short passing here by Norway in the midfield area. And another break with some tight defence there by Brazil. Back to the keeper. And this is what I mean by they're needing to play tight at the back. One simple break, as you saw in the goal, although it was ruled offside, you see how quick things can change when you're playing against a team the quality of a Brazil or a Norway. So yeah, I mean, once you sleep for 1 second in a game of this magnitude, and it could come back to haunt you. But we are now just under 8 minutes played. Brazil have possession just inside the Norway half. Brazil just inside now the box in Norway. Takes the shot, but it's easily blocked. But Brazil retain possession just on the outside of the 18-yard area. To the corner of the box. Ball's nicely regained by Brazil there, and it's a little too late to do much with there at the end for Vinny Jr. Goal kick for the Norwegians. And there he is, Coach Carlo Ancelotti, the manager of the Brazilian national side. And the long ball, unsuccessful at this time. I can see the idea, but it didn't quite come off for him there. But I like the creativity from Brazil here. But I like the ideas from Norway as well. The quick breaks, stretching Brazil out and looking for the little balls inside. I'm liking the way both teams are playing, and I reckon this is going to be a dogfight. Norway back in possession. Oh, and it's been given away. Brazil bring the ball forward. Can Norway recover? Played outside. A physical tackle, but no penalty awarded. And the ball goes out of play. Some arguments from the Brazilians, a little bit of pushing and shoving as well. There was a leg in, but there was clear contact with the ball, in my opinion, so I don't think that was a penalty. A little over-exaggerated, you do know, but well, from that angle, perhaps not. I can see the call either way, but as I say, no penalty awarded, so 10.5 minutes played. We are still looking at Brazil 0, Norway 0. The VAR are now checking that penalty. So there is a possibility that there will be a spot kick awarded here for the Brazilians. And if that should occur, and they're able to convert, it would obviously be a bad sign going forward for Norway. They would then be playing from behind. I'd be intrigued to see what they do. Obviously, as I say, they did not play their best football against France, but they had already qualified, with that being said. So now that we have the A team, so to speak, you've got the big heavy hitters out there for Norway. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. The referee's still looking at it. We're awaiting the VAR decision. And here we go. The referee is off now to check VAR and just see what we're going to do here, whether it's going to be a penalty. And if you've just tuned in, hello, good evening. We appreciate you joining us here in the locker room. As I said, just trying to keep up with all this action, with all the steady, quick breaks and the flow in football. It's been a good first 10, just over 10 minutes. And it's just the start of a big double header tonight, because we will also be bringing you the Mexico and England game as well from Mexico City at 1 a.m. The penalty has been awarded. The VAR decision has come back. Contact was made, and there will be a Brazilian penalty resulting from that. So now we get to see how the Brazilians are from 12 yards out, one-on-one. A couple of potential takers around the ball, but I think we know who's going to be stepping up. It should, by all accounts, be that man there, number 7, Vinicius Jr. But he hands the ball over to number 8. He steps up. And a fantastic save there by the Norwegian keeper. It remains 0-0. Brazil have not been able to score from the penalty kick, so the game remains scoreless. And a fantastic judgment call and a great save there by the man between the sticks. This game is far from over, and it's been a hell of a fun start. And back into the hands of the Norwegian keeper. What can Norway do here now, playing it out from the back? Can they retain their shape, is what my question would be after the scare of the penalty there. But as I say, Brazil unable to convert, so it remains goalless at this stage. And a nice ball there, but well defended by the Brazilians, and out of play for a throw-in. And I tell you what, guys, I'm really liking this new throw-in system. I feel like they should for sure make this a thing across all world football. Just to speed up the game, give it a little bit more tempo. I think it's a great thing. I like to see that they're experimenting a little bit with the World Cup, making it a little bit bigger. As I say, I know there is a stadium in Texas, and they say everything's bigger in Texas. You don't have to tell me. I'm a Longhorns fan too, so I appreciate Texas as much as Georgia in some ways. So with that being said, we are in New York tonight, so the northeastern region. So shout out to the guys over there, the Giants and the Jets, who are not doing fantastically well. And there is a very good brother of mine, and it's good to see him on the show. I've been waiting a long time to give you a shout out on the show, brother. Odin's son. He and I go back a long ways to the days of the Northwest Sports Fanatics. So shout out to Ryan. I know he's still doing his thing. I know you're still keeping well. I hope, brother. So shout out to you, my Viking brethren as well. I've got a couple of things I may need to send you in a DM, so keep your eyes open for that, brother, as well. But it's a pleasure and a privilege to see you. And if you're having a cold one, have an extra one for me, because your boy's working hard tonight. We've got the big double header, Brazil-Norway, followed by the boys down south, so to speak, on both sides of the Atlantic when Mexico hosts Norway. So it's England, I should say. So it's going to be fun. It's a fun night of football. Or football, if you're of the American persuasion. But no, as I say, Clydeside, Stateside, worldwide, you're all more than welcome. I will try to keep the action coming as best as I can. I'm at the mercy of my stream right now, but I will keep it coming for you. Just a small blip. As I see it, it is still 0-0. Of course, the biggest moment of the game, arguably, the Norwegians did score a goal, which was chopped off, disallowed for offside, and Brazil have then been awarded a penalty, saved by the Norwegian keeper, going into the top right corner there. So, yeah, a very, very exciting first quarter of an hour. And I'm looking forward to see what comes in the next sort of 75 minutes. We should be approaching the hydration break pretty soon as well, because you know that heat hits differently, and I think it's something that England are going to experience a little bit later on, because they've got to go up into Las Montañas, up into Mexico City, which, as you know, is considerably higher in altitude than old Blighty. So, with that being said, that may be a factor tonight. But England are a talented team too. But with that being said, I feel the X factor for Mexico would be their record at home. I don't think there's a team in the world over the last sort of 60-year span who has defended home turf better than the Mexicans. In the Estadio Azteca, they have played 89 games since they began playing there in 1966. In those games, they have won 70, drawn 17, and lost only 2. So if you're an English football fan, I know that the English football mentality is not to have fear, but I can certainly see that you would address the Mexican team tonight as a serious challenge and threat. So I would definitely not sleep on the co-hosts there. Just with that being said, but as I say, going back to 1966, you do have England as the world champions as well. So you've got one of 8 former world champions still in there plugging away in England as well. And as we know, Harry Kane's still putting his contention in for the Golden Boot race as well. He wants to be given some love and given some consideration as well. So it's going to be, as I say, interesting to see how it all plays out. Who goes through, who goes home. As I say, the vibes will keep rolling regardless. It's just a matter of whether it's going to be the old Samba or whether it's going to be the Viking row. But yeah, I think it's going to be an especially fun game, just given the start that it's been. And I've got a comment here. Ah, yeah, I did see that. That was quite an interesting topic to talk about if you're talking about the USA. We will be back to do the USA game tomorrow. I know that's the late one tomorrow night. So I'm going to try and do a double header because I know we've got the 2 top 5 nations, the Iberian War going on between Spain and Portugal a little earlier on. So tomorrow's going to be pretty stacked as well. But yeah, I mean, the red card was appealed. I would need to look at the footage again, but I know that there was a lot of contention as to whether or not that was a red card. I'm glad for the American team, especially because I know what Belgium can do, especially guys like Kevin De Bruyne, Tielemans as well. He's been breaking into his own, and of course, Leandro Trossard. So that offensive scheme from Belgium is dangerous. And I feel like having that anchor, having that talisman back in Balogun is going to be fantastic. Also, your top goal scorer in the tournament as well to boot. So yeah, it's a fun tournament so far. But I'm glad for the US team to see that the suspension has been lifted, because as I say, Belgium are no joke. They are a serious threat. Coming to the tournament ranked 10th by FIFA Coca-Cola coefficiency ratings. So essentially a top 10 team in the world, consensus. So I mean, but with that being said, the USA were 15th. So it's pretty close. I mean, you guys have a very talented side. No problem at all, my brother. As I say, it was great hollering at you. Great to see you on the show at last. Hopefully it won't be the last time, because as I say, there's a lot of big things coming this season and the whole wide world of sport. But as I say, I appreciate you as always coming and showing some love, and I will get at you real soon, my boy. Apologies for the tech issues. I'm just doing a quick reboot of my stream so that I can get up to date and I will present you where we are. I do hope I've not missed a goal. I certainly was enjoying the action, but we take it as we find it. Yard gone yard, we balance it out how we do and we keep on rolling. That's how we do things here. Here we go. Back into the game now. Here we are, back up to date. We are at 24 minutes played, and the score remains Brazil 0, Norway 0. A highly competitive match. It remains. As I say, the first goal is going to be extremely important. I feel like a lot of this, the flow of this game is going to be dependent on who gets that first goal and when it comes. But both teams still fighting at the moment, still goalless. Norway in the better position here on the outside of the Brazilian box. And this is one game where perhaps the hydration break would not be the best idea because it may dip the momentum. But you know what? These are two teams that are capable of lighting a fire real quick. And we saw that at various instances throughout this first half so far. So, I mean, this is a game that could turn on a knife edge very, very quickly. So it's going to be interesting and intriguing to see how it all unfolds coming out of the hydration break. I myself will take my hydration break at halftime, I think. But as I said, extremely competitive first half so far between Norway and Brazil. A great game to choose to get back into the watch parties and obviously start the night off right. It's going to be a fun double header. Obviously, a lot of people are more focused on the game coming a little later on. But for anyone who's taken their time to spend a little bit with me, I do appreciate you for hanging. As I say, just remember to like, share, subscribe, wherever you are finding me. As I say, this is coming out to you on the Locher-Room channel and also on my channel, Waddle Music Sports and Media as well. So wherever you are finding me, just give me a like, a share and a subscribe. Let your people know. I should be also coming to you live on X as well. We are forever growing the family as well. So I will take this opportunity to do just a little bit of self-promotion. You know how I do. So we are basically in the recruitment stage because it is the off season. We're looking for free agents, if you will, or transfers, however you want to look at it. Because we here at AFN International, we pride ourselves on being the voice of all the fans. And that goes for Falcons fans as well as Braves, Hawks, Dream, Georgia Bulldogs, although I myself, as I've said before, rep the old Texas Longhorns. Burnt orange, do or die. But with that being said, if you want to join us and earn your kilt, we would love to have you. You know, as I say, the ethos behind this is just trying to grow the international family, show some love around the world, and show how big Falcons Nation truly is. So with that being said, it was my honour to kind of run with this. Throw some seeds into the wind and let them sort of flourish for themselves, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, it's been fun to experiment, as I say, with the World Cup, have some fun with it. It's going to be far too early to try and make a prediction as to who's going to win it, so don't even ask me. But any other questions outside winner predictions, I can certainly look at tackling for you. I've got an ad break at the moment, so I'm guessing this is the guys taking on their water now. And of course, I love so much that the family stateside are getting to experience the thrill of a World Cup. I mean, Atlanta held the Olympics back in '96, and obviously that has been home base for the England team essentially over the course of this campaign. So with that being said, it's been kind of fun to see the Atlanta, especially the Atlanta Fan Fest, because that was just immensely well represented. It shows the love for all sports that exists in the city. I've said many, many times, Atlanta is known as a black mecca. I think it should also be well known as a sports mecca. So I think the time is now to push for that NHL expansion franchise. I think that the time of Georgia sports has only just begun. Um, so yeah, I think it's an exciting time to be in the position that we are in as Georgia content creators. But tonight's not about Georgia. As I say, this is about bringing you, having some fun with you guys when it comes to the wider, wilder world of sport. With that being said, it was time to show you our national sport. Although according to the FIFA rankings, you play it a little better than we do. As I say, Scotland ranked down at 38, but boy, do we know how to party. So that's how we make up. We may not always be the best on the field, but we will make some friends off of it, and some contacts that will last a lifetime. So with that being said, that's what really brings home the family atmosphere. Um, just the love of football and the solidarity, and just the international cooperation and fun of it all, is what really sparks me. The blending of cultures, it's a truly beautiful thing. So I, as the head of AFNI, I knew that it was time to start doing some soccer, so to speak, for our stateside fans, or football for our fans around the rest of the world. It was more than time. But yeah, as I say, with that being said, the boys just on their hydration break right now. Bruno Guimaraes, of course, the misser of the penalty for Brazil. But it's going to be a fire second half of the first half. But no, I understand the hydration breaks given how hot it's going to be, even in Boston, which obviously is considerably colder than obviously Atlanta would be, generally speaking. But the weather's been funny. I feel like the Scots and the English took the bad weather across with us, because I know there has been some concerns, especially concerning the game later on when it comes to thunderstorms. And I mean, we here in Scotland are no strangers whatsoever to inclement weather, as you probably have seen. Perennially grey is one way that I would describe it, but I'm just a beautiful country nonetheless, and it's my home, so I'm proud to represent. Brazil in a great position here. Played back across the box, intercepted by Norway. Brazil with two men on the ball, and it's a foul. Obviously, at this point, the game remains competitive. Norway now are pushing, but it comes to nothing. Played out by the Brazilian keeper. As I say, it's been a great start to the game tonight. Nice interception again by the Norwegians just on the halfway line. But this is where we start to see the true tests at this stage of the competition. Getting into the quarterfinals is not going to be easy for any team. So as I say, when I came into this, I just wanted to see a close game of football, and that's what it's proven to be. Chances at both ends, some controversy with that penalty, but of course saved. Yeah, I'm having fun so far tonight, so I hope you all are too. Down there in the chat, as I say, keep the comments coming if you have any questions, anything to say. But yeah, just keep the love coming. As I say, I'm really more into my international football than I am my club level ball. So this is a good opportunity for me to obviously have some fun with it, especially when you have two teams as good as these two. Brazil coming forward with a nice move inside. On the outside of the 18-yard box now. Neat pass and blocked. And cleared by the Norwegian defence. And Norway on the outside of the Brazilian box now. Nice play, stays on his feet. Some nice short passing on display here by the Norwegians. And a great shot, but it's just gone wide, ever so slightly wide there. I can see the idea and it was close, but no cigar. And a shout out to the First Lady of AFN herself down in the chat, Miss Maggie. I know you're busy tonight, my sister. How are you? I hope you're enjoying the games. I know there's a lot going on. I know you've been hanging with Pastor Troy. So let us know how your night's been so far. I hope you guys all had a blessed 4th of July. To the guys around the world as well, whoever chooses to celebrate that special occasion, as I say, 250th birthday of the Union. So there you are. A lot of love to my guys stateside as well. I know you guys are keeping on as well. So I'm just trying to do the same, have some fun with the World Cup. But it's great to hear from you, sis. Norwegians have control just inside the Brazilian half now. And again, nice, short, decisive passing here from the Norwegians, trying to carve apart Brazil. And this is similar to the move that got them the goal. So you can see where Norway's bread and butter is. The ball's played inside. Well taken. Unfortunate there, Haaland on the header, but it's recovered by the Brazilian goalkeeper. Nice move forward there by the Norwegians on that one, but it comes to nothing in the end. Yeah, you can see the idea. Just a nice little flick on the foot, trying to put it over the keeper with the lob there, but not quite enough. Not quite enough touch on it there to control it the way he wanted to. And as I say, if anyone's watching the game and wants to jump on and join me, you would be more than welcome. If you don't have the link, just let me know and I can drop it down in the chat for you. But in the meantime, you boys just going to keep on working. Coming pretty close to half time now, I'd say just about 32 minutes played now. But yeah, looking forward to obviously what the second half has to bring for us. I don't want to say extra time too early because, as I say, I have every expectation that there will be a goal at some point in this game. With the talent of the teams on display, and Norway breaking down the wing here again, looking to get the cross in. Norway staying tight again with the short passes. I'm glad to hear it, sis. As I say, I know that's a national holiday, I think, for you guys. So you're able to get your feet up and have a little bit of fun. So as I say, I know it's all music and lights and food and family at this time. Brother Don was showing me some of his ribs, and let's just say, you know my shtick. I'm afraid to come over because you're going to cost me money, you guys. I'm going to have to book 2 seats back, and that's just the truth of it because you had me at food. But no, as I say, I'm glad to hear that you're all doing well. As I say, shout out to all my peoples. A lot coming from the stateside guys as well. So if you've not been paying attention to Maggie's stuff, go over to Atlanta Falcons Nation LLC and see all the good stuff that's coming there. But as I say, we've been doing a little bit of retailing ourselves. And the International Revolution, or the Kilted Revolution, whatever you want to call it, remains in full throttle, I should say. And now Brazil have control of the ball just inside the Norwegian half here. Playing it out from the back. Good defence by the Norwegians again, staying tight, getting men back. Two very, very quick teams on display here tonight. And two that stylistically match up very, very well. I knew when I saw the fixture list that this was going to be one of the key games of the round of 16 for me. I feel like just some of the players on display are of a very, very high caliber. Given some of the obviously the storylines and the narratives obviously surrounding these guys as well. Yeah, this was definitely always going to be a fun game. And the ball's gone out now for a throw-in. "40 minutes played, so not too long to go until half-time. So if you have tuned in to show some love during this first half, know that I appreciate you. I know that there is more coming as well. We will be doing a late one tonight for the Mexico and England game as well. We may have some very special guests from the frequent Fliers family as well. So shout out to our hermanas y hermanas. So yeah, as I say, we're pushing the Latin connection. So it's my pleasure and my thrill to bring you guys Mexico. As I say, both co-hosts over 2 days. So you'll get Mexico, England tonight, and you'll also get USA, Belgium tomorrow from your boy. So a lot of good stuff to be looking forward to when it comes to the World Cup. So keep it here, keep it Celtic. Because there's also something very, very special that if you haven't heard the news yet, I will be proud to unveil tonight a little later on. That will be after the England and Mexico game. So you better keep your eyes tuned to that, because it's going to be a special announcement coming up later on. As I say, the people in the back do know, but it'll be a new one for the fans. So I'll be proud to announce that when the time comes. But we got a whole lot of football ahead of us before we get into that. A nice offensive play there again by the Norwegians. Out for another corner. And it's not hard to see how well attended these games have been. Like, shout out to the hosts. It's been a fantastic atmosphere, the whole tournament. As I say, so much fun had by it all involved. So yeah, I mean, just keep the vibes coming. You're packing these stadiums out and having a great time, and I love to see it. As I say, sometimes I get to live vicariously through my brothers and sisters over in the US. So it's fun to have a chance to kind of all touch base on that on an international level, such as the World Cup. And it also gives us the chance to show you all that we're not just dirty birds. We got a lot more to us than just the Falcons niche. We can come and go. And with that being said, there's a lot coming down the pipeline from the Real Spill show as well. I'm going to be talking about the Fender Guitars lawsuit very, very soon. And I also have a couple of very, very special guests joining me soon to talk some sport with you as well. So you can look forward to that as I start to continue the expansion. There's a lot in the pipeline. So yeah, I'm just giving you a little bit of teaser while I can, because there's not too much longer to go in this first half. But yeah, definitely some exciting football from both teams. It's going to be interesting to see what the second half has in store. 44 minutes gone, it remains Brazil 0, Norway 0. No adult beverages for me tonight. I'm just on the water. Like, if you want your boy to have a beer on stream, you can drop some red and blacks in the chat. But we don't want to get pre-demonetized or any of that. So we'll just keep rolling with best intentions, so to speak, and pray it rides out the way we want it to. I know we have enough of a Scottish stick to uphold too, but not that one. Ball out of play, Norwegian throw. And the solidarity between the sports leagues as well, like the way the Scots and the English have embraced the baseball, the Braves and the Red Sox respectively, although I'd much rather that the Scotland fans had Atlanta as their base. You all know, I make no secret of how much I love the city of Atlanta and the sports teams therein. So as such, I mean, it would have been a dream come true, because at one point I did see it teased that Scotland-Brazil would have been played in Atlanta. And I shouted out to the guys in the group chat and I said, this has to happen. But no, the cards fell where they were, and we had a fun tournament for what it was, but not enough, in my opinion. And as we know, Steve Clarke has now resigned as Scotland manager. So a new era is incoming for Scottish football. So we'll see where we're at come 4 years' time, or 2 years' time for the European Championships as well. Because if you guys are enjoying this, then I will start to bring a little bit more soccer into the mix. As I say, this is the Locher-Room, so this is where Daze, Deano and I and all our guests will be talking all sports. So as I say, just if you've got any sort of topics, just drop them down in the chat. If you want me to kind of go off on a Falcons tangent or a baseball tangent, because I know those Braves are starting to get there. 5 All-Stars named as well, 2 starters. So all that good stuff. Obviously, the Hawks have had their draft class, so we can talk about that as well real soon. But as I say, yeah, just keep the love coming. I really appreciate it. This stream is not holding up too well, but I digress. It should be just approaching halftime now. We should be into stoppage. So we're just waiting on the referee to blow the halftime whistle. It still remains Brazil 0, Norway 0, despite the few moments of action and the few scares on either side. And I feel like a little bit of the pace has gone out of the game. Norway trying to slow it down just a little bit to close out the first half. And that's a good save. Alisson on the goal line there for Brazil. Just a fantastic keeper, so you're not going to beat him with that one. You probably should have done in many ways, but I'm not going to hold that against you. And we're halfway through the 6 minutes of added time. Brazil have control just outside of the Norway 18-yard area. Looking to see if they can finish off the first half with a goal. And again, some snappy passing, some nice pace from the Brazilians. Looking to whip it in here. Oh, that's a nice block. Ball's played in again. Oh, unlucky not to get the head on that one. That may have been one of the better chances for Brazil in the game there. It didn't quite come off, but it was a lovely ball through. Just couldn't quite get the header to come off. Not quite, just maybe a step or two off, but you can see the intention there. It's getting tasty. And just a phenomenally physical game. We see here Martin Odegaard forcing that fantastic save out of Alisson. Just a great save. And we've seen a lot of great goalkeeper play throughout the tournament. Has been keeping these games relatively low scoring in a lot of cases. But yeah, truly Alisson is one of the best keepers in the world, and he shows it there again, denying Odegaard with a fantastic save. One minute to go until half time. Ball played forward, safely into the hands of Alisson again there. Something missing here today in terms of the ball movement from both teams. Just not quite as decisive in front of the goal as you would like them to be in a lot of cases. It's something that will need to be cleared up at half time, so I can envision what the manager's talks would be like. And again, a little bit of physicality there involving Vinicius Jr. The referee has waved it off. Time ticking away on the first half here. And what has been a fairly fun first half. We can see the play acting on display there. That was not a great look on that one. Took a little tumble. So we will see slightly more stoppage time added on off the back of that. And the referee has called it. So that is 45 minutes gone, 45 to go, and the score remains Brazil 0, Norway 0. So now that we are at half time, if you have any sports chat, now would be the time to drop it down in the chat section below. As I say, keep your likes, your shares, your subscribes all coming. You know how much it means, as I say. So with that being said, it was time for my little hydration break. First hour gone of what will be a 4-hour doubleheader. We do have a little breather in between, but I'm really looking forward to doing Mexico versus England tonight. Hopefully some of the frequent Flyers family will be joining me for that one. But if not, as I say, your boy will be grinding that one out too. The Saltire Vampire will be in full action for that one as well. And it's always a great mix of youth and experience when you're talking about players at the World Cup as well. Just as I say, some of these guys, the talismans, if you will, of their respective countries coming to the end of their careers with the Messis and the Ronaldos. Obviously, we just saw Portugal defeat Croatia, and Luka Modric, who's another great, one of the most consistent midfielders of all time, probably. He's called it time for his Croatia career. So obviously a lot of the greats coming to the end, but a lot of great stars coming up. Lamine Yamal from Spain being a standout for me. A couple of other guys around there, as I say, Vinicius Junior. We need to also remember that this is the first World Cup for Erling Haaland as well. He's only 26. So he's not quite reached what he could be as well. Mbappe is still playing at an incredibly high level as well. So football is going to be at a high level for a good few years to come. I think we're fairly set with these quote-unquote wonder kids that we have coming through the systems as well. So with that being said, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch international football coming into the Euro cycle in 2 years' time. See kind of where Scotland are at. From a selfish point of view, and also have a little look around and see from the broader prospect of European football where things are going to be. But what I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to jump off cam real quick. I will keep you going with the audio. As I say, you'll get the pleasure of looking at my custom logo there. So as I say, if you are watching on the solo channel on Waddle Music, Sports and Media, remember to give us a shout out, a like, a share and a subscribe. I will be right back with you in just a little minute. I'm just going to go and grab some more water and I'll be right back with you guys for the second half. But it remains at half time. Brazil no, Norway no. And your boy is back. Just watching the halftime coverage. Now that I'm refueled, recaffeinated, ready to go, As I say, I feel like the key players were who we thought they would be. Vinicius Junior for the Brazilians, and then of course you have Erling Haaland and Odegaard for the Norwegians. An early scare, as we say, the Norwegians breaking forward, scoring a goal that was ruled offside. Obviously, VAR coming into play again on the penalty. Bit more physicality than what the ref was looking to see there. But Bruno Guimaraes was unable to convert with the save. So with that being said, there has been chances for each team respectively to take the lead. There's been some nice breaks. There's been fantastic saves at both ends. As I say, Odegaard denied by that fantastic save by Alisson. There's been some good play between the sticks by the Norwegian keeper as well. So just an extremely competitive and highly paced first half. Norway trying to obviously slow it down a little bit more towards the latter stages. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be an extremely interesting second half. If the goal should occur, I'm not sure who's going to get it, so don't ask me. But I'm here for it either way. And thank you for joining me if you are. We are going to take a short pause, and then we will be good to go for the second half of Brazil versus Norway. Also, a fun stat to note that Bruno Guimaraes is the first Brazilian to miss a penalty in international play at the World Cup since 1986. So 40 years it's been. So he's on fairly singular ground there with that miss. But all credit to the Norwegian keeper for the save. As I say, guessed right, got up there and stopped it. But there's, as I say, they're showing some of the chances now. Haaland had a few himself, but it was just there was nothing quite decisive enough. No killer blow, so to speak. It may come in the second half. I feel like it's going to be competitive, but not high scoring. So I think one goal is going to decide it in the end, and it's just a question of who's going to get that break, who's going to tire first. Because as I said earlier, you did see Norway trying to stretch them out, trying to slow down the pace just a little bit towards the end of the first half as well. So it's going to be fun to see if there's any changes tactically going into the second half as well. Okay, we are on an ad break right now, but we are almost ready to come back into the action for the second half of Brazil versus Norway. What was an extremely competitive and fun first half. Hoping the second half will match that, if not exceed it. I mean, the energy has been great all around the stadium, as it has been throughout the tournament. And for anyone just tuning in, as I say, just a little recap. Brazil have missed a penalty, and in addition to that, Norway have had a few chances as well. One was scored, but was ruled offside. So a very interesting first half, with definite chances on both sides. No one able to obviously put the dagger in and definitively finish as yet. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to come tonight, because if you stay tuned at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, or 1 a.m. for the late guys in the UK, we will be bringing you England versus Mexico. So we will be doing a World Cup double header. So if you all don't know, let your people know. We got a lot coming down the pipeline tonight for you. And that's just for starters, because I also have a very special announcement which I will be dropping after the watch parties as well. So if you don't follow me on the socials, you won't have seen it. But this will be your first chance, and I will be going live just after the England and Mexico game to unveil what's been happening. So if you want to keep it here and keep it Celtic, then you'll be able to see all of that good stuff as well. So with that being said, we are almost ready for the second half now. There's a lot of talk in the stream chat as to whether they think extra time or penalties is going to be needed. I'm going to be the devil's advocate and say that I don't think it will go past 90 minutes. I think one team will get a goal, but the real question is, who is it going to be? Because both teams have had spells where they have had control of the ball. They've moved it well. There's been some decisive short passing from Norway. There's been some, again, effective wing play, which was something that I said coming into the game before we started, that would be a point of efficacy for Brazil. If Brazil were going to break Norway down, they were going to do it from the outside with those dangerous crosses, those little balls inside and things like that. They haven't had one come off for them yet, but you can obviously see that the intention is there. And similarly, with the short, nippy passes, moving the ball forward from the Norwegians, you can see both strategies in action. My question again would be how they're going to continue or adjust going into the second half. Still on the ad break. So if any of you do have any sports talk you want to drop on me, I know there has been a lot going on. But with that being said, it's just there's so much sport going on right now, it's tough to get through it all. I'm sure that many of my content creator brothers and sisters will agree with me on that. But with that being said, I know a lot of people also take the off season off, but the grind never stops here on AFNI. The Locher-Room is always open. So with that being said, it's a pleasure once again to be here for you guys and to be able to present this match, because as I say, only once every 4 years you get to see all the best players in the world come together. So it's time to embrace it, have fun with it, and I'm glad to see that the guys over in North America have been doing so. And it's going to be exciting to see who makes the quarterfinals for sure. We do already have one in France versus Morocco, which, if you haven't been following football for very long, is a repeat of the final from 2022, the semi-final, I should say. So it's going to be fun to see what happens, and the teams are now emerging for the second half. There has been a switch made, so Nusa is coming off, as is Soploth for the Norwegians. They will be bringing on Bob and Schlerderup. So they have 3 remaining substitutions, but the Norwegians, as I say, the pace of the game has maybe been affecting them. They will be making 2 changes at half time. And energy is going to be a factor in this heat as well. Who is going to be better sustained? And in warm conditions, I feel like it would favour the Brazilians. But we've seen throughout the first half that the Norwegians are down for a fight. It's not as if they're not swinging, so it's going to be a fun second half. As I tell you, the team's assembling their huddles, getting ready to go. And thank you all for joining me again. Action's just about to get started here at East Rutherford, New Jersey, MetLife Stadium. And there we have it. If you ever needed another example of the World Cup, it's right there. The solidarity between nations as one lone Brazilian stands in a sea of red and blue. You've got to love it. And what I would also like to try and do very, very soon for you guys, although the round of 16 has officially sort of kicked off, what I would like to do is do a power ranking of the top 10 teams of the tournament, just to kind of talk about some of my favourite memories, some of the teams I feel like should be watched, maybe even some of the teams that are being slept on to this point. Because I know a few of the bigger teams have gone out, a few of them are just now starting to wake up as well. So it's going to be interesting to watch it all unfold, and you'll be able to do it here live with your boy. As I say, the frequent Flyers family have the open invitation, and if you want the chat, if you want to join me on the panel, then I can obviously drop the link down in the chat. Just let me know. But at the moment, as I say, just warming up for this second half, seeing what kind of excitement this is going to hold for us. So we appreciate you holding it down. And here we go now into the second 45 minutes. And we're trying some new things on the channel as well. This is my first crack, shall we say, at a proper play-by-play. So I hope you're all enjoying it. If you have any advice or any questions or anything to say whatsoever, please drop it down in the chat. You know, I always try to interact with each and every one of you, show some love back to the people who are on here with me. Because as I say, at the end of the day, without you guys, there's no show whatsoever. None of this matters. So, as I say, thank you for staying with me as we launch into the second half. And I think that ideally both teams would be looking to stick with the same strategy from the first half. So, with that being said, I think it's going to be the short, decisive passes from the Norwegians. I feel like the Brazilians will continue to try and find that long ball from the wing over the top, see if they can get a Brazilian head onto the ball to test the keeper. But with that being said, I feel like, as I've said a few times during the show, one goal is probably going to decide this. It's two teams that are fairly evenly matched or have played out that way thus far. And the ball's just about ready to start. Into the second half now. a different look, a little bit more tame, taking their time. Are their Norwegians? They're not coming out quite as thick and fast. Playing it out from the back again. Ball in the air, 50 minutes played. Norway now shooting to the right, keeping control at the back, keeping the ball moving. Bringing it now into the Brazilian half and out to the wing. And again with the short passes, moving it outside. But the Brazilians are right on them. Tight defence there from the boys in yellow and blue. And I mean, kudos to Norway for their first World Cup. For a lot of these stars, this is they've made a good showing of themselves. I mean, I know they were handled quite readily by France, but by that time they had already qualified. But with that being said, for a first World Cup, they definitely made a fantastic showing of themselves. And obviously, introducing the Viking row to the world has been something special as well. So shout out not just to the Norwegian team, but to the Norwegian fans as well. And obviously, Erling Haaland specifically, really embracing the US culture, going full on Dallas with the Stetson and the cowboy boots to boot. As I say, it's definitely something that I love, guys that and gals that don't take themselves too seriously. You can't in this life, to be quite honest. I can speak from personal experience on that as well. So you need to laugh or you'll cry. That's basically the long and short of it. In my 35 years now, almost on this planet, because there's another round of the sun just coming round. So I'd like to announce officially for the very first time tonight that coming soon, 31st of July to be specific, which coincides with the first date of training camp for the season ticket holders only. I'm sure a few people will be making a few calls. As I say, in Atlanta, sometimes it's not always what you know, sometimes it's who you know as well. So if you got the contacts, things can happen. So with that being said, I will be bringing you a special watch party. I will be talking about the Falcons camp and I will be having some fun and a little bit of chat with you guys just to obviously bring in my 35th. So as I say, your birthday's best spent with family, and I will be looking to do that on the 31st of July. So if you're looking to spend some time with me and help your boys celebrate, that would be how and when to catch me. I will be on here talking sports and having some fun as always. And as I say, it's just the beginning of a new season of great content because we also have the gaming world opening up to us very, very soon. So I have some projects coming down that pipeline as well, so you'll have to stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, let's get cracked back into this World Cup action for you. And apologies again, I don't have the best stream tonight, so I may be slightly behind for you guys. I will do my best to keep it up to the second for you though. "54 minutes gone, almost 55. It remains Brazil 0, Norway 0. Passing the ball around about themselves are the Norwegians. There doesn't seem to be a lot of intent per se right now. As I say, playing from the back with the short, decisive. Well, they were decisive, not so decisive now coming into the second half. I feel like if they want to really break the Brazilians down, they're going to have to step this up a little bit. They're going to have to return to some of that pace that they showed in the first half on that break for the offside goal. They have the pace and they have the technical ability to do it. It's just, are they going to have the will, the drive to obviously push for that goal? Because one goal, I think, gets it tonight. And as I say, we will likely be back for the big game tonight. So if you're excited for England versus Mexico, then obviously you'll have to keep it tuned here. A riveting first half from Brazil and Norway that's getting into a tasty looking second half. As I say, the Norwegians right now playing not with a lot of purpose at the moment. Obviously, the big narrative is the mix-ups between Gabriel and Erling Haaland. The whole Arsenal versus Manchester City tete-a-tete, shall we say. But obviously, pleasantries have been renewed tonight, so it's all in love. As I say, rivals, not enemies, and that's the beauty of the World Cup as well. You will see the competitive side come out in these boys, and some of the old scars and some of the old battles resurface. But I mean, we're here for it. As I say, this game is going to come down to who can break first. It's going to be a war of attrition, and one big chance is going to swing it. I feel like it's definitely going to be the case tonight. But yeah, just again, Brazil holding much of the same shape, trying to come in from the wing, find efficacy that way, just with the ball inside. Nothing to write home about, as I say, in the second half per se as yet, but I will keep you posted. And as I say, in the meantime, if you do have any World Cup questions for me, I have just not too long ago, I should say, gotten back into the world of kickball, shall we say? Nah, I'll call it what it is. Football. It's y'all that have got it mixed up. We call it American football if we're talking about the NFL, and I feel like it's a distinction that the world should make. But you know, America. We all love. You guys do love to be the one to stand out. So I'll give you that. And the question is, who's going to stand out tonight? Is it going to be Norway or is it going to be Brazil? For 48 nations, we are about to be doing the hard work to find out who will be the final 8. 2 of those names, as I say, have already been confirmed in the forms of France and Morocco. And we will see very, very soon, over the next couple of hours, who's going to be joining them. Will it be Brazil or Norway? Or will it be England or Mexico? So I'm very much looking forward to seeing some of these games look on paper to be extremely tasty, with some very, very talented teams. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm also looking forward to the games tomorrow, with 2 top 5 teams renewing the Iberian rivalry when Spain take on Portugal. And then, as I say, co-hosts and our brothers across the water, the United States, will also be in action against world number 10 Belgium. So that's going to be 2 very, very fun games again. So be expecting another double header for that one. As I say, guests to be confirmed. Again, just distinct drop off in pace coming into this second half. I feel like the teams know that a goal at this stage would perhaps be, I don't want to say detrimental, but it may kickstart something. I did suggest that one way this game could go would be that it would end 2-2 and go to extra time and go down that way. It would depend on whether or not a first goal sparked something. As I say, we've yet to see that first goal. We saw plenty of action and plenty of interesting chances, and definitive chances during that first half. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it falls, but it's definitely been a fun game so far, and one that I've definitely enjoyed presenting to you guys. So keep showing the love, as I say, if you're enjoying these watch parties, if you're enjoying your boy exploring some new sport. Well, it's not really a new sport to me. Essentially it's our national sport. Um, American football, as much as we love it, has a small but a devoted following. And also guys that play it, we do have a league setup, which if you guys want me to break down for you guys, I will with some special guests. So that's something I can do if you want to look into the world of American football as we play it over here. But it's good to obviously get back into something a little bit more close to home with the World Cup. And as I say, there's only one every 4 years, and it was perfectly placed with it being the US, Canada, and Mexico. You all know me by now, and I will take any chance to shout out my peoples that I can get. So, with that being said, again, some tempos coming back up now. Very physical game in the midfield. Brazil getting two men behind every ball at the moment. Just over an hour gone, 62 minutes played. It remains Brazil 0, Norway 0. But the interesting question, and I put it to you guys in the chat, is if a goal should come, who will that be? Will it be Brazil or will it be Norway? Will it be Vinny Jr.? Will it be Erling Haaland? Will it be Matthias Cunha? Drop it down in the chat. Who's going to be the goal scorer? Who's going to step up and be the man to take their nation to the quarterfinals? Norway have been enjoying the ride so far, but I mean, how far do you want the ride to continue? Is what I would ask. Do you have the will to step it up just that little bit more to get over the hump? It's only a round of 16, so there's some big matches to play. And this is the point in the tournament where we start to find out what these teams are really made of. Into the 63rd minute now. And shout out to the 6 people watching. If any of you have any questions, any comments in the chat, just let me know. I'm having fun with this one. It looks like there's a high probability of extra time right now. Brazil having more shots, with more shots on target, but the superior possession belongs to the Norwegians right now. So can they capitalise on that, having 2/3 of possession and far more passes? So it depends what you want to see. But as I say, the Norwegians need to step it up just a little bit more because Brazil do look like the more likely team to score at this time. But the action will keep coming thick and fast. There have been some switches. Endrick is on for Brazil and Matthias Cunha has been taken off. We also have a substitution for Norway as Fredrik Arnsnes comes on, replacing Julian Ryerson. So a midfielder for striker switch there for the Norwegians. Looks to be like they are going slightly more defensive in approach, which is what we've seen. They've lowered the pace. They're playing it out more from the back. "65 minutes played, 25 to go." I love these close games where one breakaway could be the difference. To be completely honest with you guys, these are the games that true fans of the sport live for, where one goal clinches it, but it's extremely competitive, physical. You see these flashes of pace, these flashes of technicality, and I love that in any sport. I am a man who is obsessed with the smaller, finer details, so to speak. I enjoy nuance, and I try to present some nuance in the way that I do my shows. So I hope that you guys can appreciate that too. But when it comes to tonight's game, I would definitely say that it's leaning towards Brazil, but it's their indecisiveness in front of goal that's obviously been a big trigger so far. They've not been able to get the header in there to obviously turn one of those crosses goalward. So at the moment we are 66 minutes played, and it still remains Brazil 0, Norway 0. I feel like if Brazil want to compete, they need to not be sitting back quite so much as they are. But I understand that it's an interesting game because of the speed and the rate that Brazil can break you down. And I appreciate those kind words, Maggie. As I say, I'm seriously considering running with that new moniker of the Saltire Vampire, because again, if you've known your boy for any length of time, I don't sleep when it comes to sport. There's a lot of good stuff coming, but at some point I am going to have to schedule some hours to catch up on some Z's as well, because you know your boy's always working. But hit me up and check your messenger as well, because we're going to talk, sis. But with that being said, let's get back to the matter at hand. It remains 0-0. What has been a highly competitive game, and we are now 2/3 of the way gone. So 67.5 minutes played with extra time looming. And if you think normal time was competitive, wait till you see them step it up just that little bit more. Wait till you see the physicality come in just a little bit more when the legs start to get tired. This is where you sort out the men from the boys, so to speak. And we now have another two replacements for the Brazilians, as legend Neymar is coming on to the field, number 10. To make way for him, you have Gabriel Martinelli coming off, and you've also got Danilo coming on as an offensive midfielder to replace the striker Ryan. So with that being said, it looks like Brazil are now looking to push forward, create more space through the middle. As I say, make sure that the ball's getting in there. They still have Vinicius Junior out there, who's forever a threat to break. As I say, you have now the talisman out there in Neymar as well. So it all boils down to which man is going to step up and obviously carry the burden for his country. Because I mean, this is not an easy game to win. And there's quite a drop off in world ranking, because, as I say, I did a breakdown of every team's world ranking coming into the tournament. Brazil are ranked at number 6, Norway at number 31. So as far as FIFA is concerned, that is quite a big gap. I know we have seen shocks, but a lot of the consensus said that Brazil would take this game tonight. But it has been a lot closer and more competitive than I feel like a lot of people were giving it credit for. So we just keep rolling and see how it plays out. But a massive respect for both of these teams. Brazil, just obviously the flair and the history and the caliber of players that they bring, and then of course Norway just in there swinging heavy. 70 minutes gone now, 20 minutes from extra time. So let me know in the chat if you're watching. Have you enjoyed the game? Has it been exciting to you? How have you felt about the tournament so far? because I know I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's not been hard to keep the energy going because, especially when you've got games like this as well, highly contested, quickly paced, especially in that first half. That was exciting. You heard me obviously ascend to a new octave when I thought the Norwegians had opened the scoring. But no, as I say, just to break down those stats again, 67% possession to the Norwegians, but Brazil leads the shots 9-6. They also have 3 shots on target against Norway's 2. The pass accuracy has been high on both sides, with Norway having almost double the amount of passes that Brazil do. So they're playing that quintessential Spanish style from when they won the European and World Championships respectively, and it's what would be officially kind of deemed death by 1,000 cuts. The little, small, decisive passes through the middle where you can open teams up. Brazil are trying to negate that by getting 2 men to the ball in every instance. So it's going to be very, very tough to break this defence down that Brazil are playing. I feel like they may need to try and match the style that Brazil are doing and get it out wide, because I feel like Brazil are trying to block the middle, knowing the way that obviously Norway play. They've now made the change to bring on Danilo and Neymar, so they're looking to break on the counter as well. So it's going to be a very intriguing last 18 minutes. We may be in for some extra time here, guys, so I may have to go running a little bit longer. But you know what? What a game so far. What a game so far. And there is now 47% chance as of the real-time stats that this game does go to extra time. So it is about to get tasty, folks. And I'm glad you're all here with me to see it firsthand. Just pulling up some more of these stats for you. I know you'll all love to hear these. The Brazilians creating more good chances, pushing forward, trying to break this Norwegian defence down. There's one of these games where a single break is going to define it. It's just who's going to get it. Because it's been a tight fight, very, very competitive, as I've said a few times during the show. I think either team can go forward and go on to win this. But I feel like extra time's looming. So it's going to really test the legs of the boys that have been out there for the full 90. Obviously, I feel like in terms of when the substitutions are being made, it makes a lot of sense. You're sort of pacing yourself for what could be an extra 30 minutes of play. So it makes a lot of sense to see what both teams are doing. And as I say, we're just going to have to wait and see whose approach works, because it looks like very much to me as if Brazil are trying to catch the break through the middle by controlling man on man, and then going from there. So just keep. All we're doing is waiting for the breakthrough. Will it come? Who knows? I wouldn't mind some penalty kicks. I don't know about y'all, but this has certainly been an enjoyable game for being 0-0. It's certainly been a very exciting and fun game to commentate for you guys. as I say, really having a go at mixing it up a little bit and giving you guys some new content, some new ideas. And here we are, just over 15 minutes to go. Like, if you guys are watching and you want to let us know down in the chat if you've been watching the World Cup, what's been your favourite game or some of your favourite moments? I mean, I know Cape Verde, shout out to Vozinha. He's made himself a world superstar overnight. The Cabo Verde goalkeeper. So shout out to Cape Verde, man. Second smallest nation ever to qualify for the World Cup, and their adventure was something special. Played 3 former world champions along the way. Drew with Spain, drew with Uruguay, took Argentina to the brink, and those are the defending world champions. So it just goes to show you how fun and how exciting the World Cup can be when it comes to results. Sometimes the small teams can shock you, so you never can quite sleep on anyone. Which is why, as I say, I'm so excited to present these games to you, because you just never know what's going to happen. But with 13 minutes to go, it remains scoreless between Brazil and Norway. Second half hydration break now, in full swing. Creeping down on 10 minutes to go now. .78 minutes gone. No more lineup adjustments as yet. Both teams still do have some loaded in the barrel. But as I said, I think a lot of them are going to leave this towards the later stages of the match. And here we have, as I say, a new one here. So Ederson has now come on for Brazil, replacing Bruno Guimaraes, the man who missed the penalty earlier on tonight. And with 11 minutes to go, it remains goalless. And if you guys are into gaming, we also have a very special chat coming up on Thursday of next week as well. So we'll be able to step back into the locker room, because myself with OG Sam, Mad Mike Sports, Almighty Fresh are going to be talking some video games, boys and girls. We're going to be talking some retro video games more specifically. So we're going to be talking about some of the glory days of our wrestling video games. So we're going to be talking about all the games that you know and love if you are of a certain age and demographic. So we are talking from the No Mercies of the world all the way to the Here Comes the Pains. So that's going to be one for anyone who loves the old graps, or anyone who considers themselves a gaming aficionado, as we all do. So keep your eyes peeled, because that will be a fun chat on Thursday. But at the moment, we got more pressing matters to attend to. As I say, 10 minutes to go between Brazil and Norway. No score as yet. But we keep pushing. And if extra time should be looming, then we'll be here for it as well. Who's got the flair and the drive for the last 10 minutes? I know the legs are getting tired, boys, but someone's got to push. My body and my adrenaline are in two completely different places here. My body can take extra time, but I don't know if my heart can. I'll be honest with you, this game has been tight, and it's been a joy to watch. And there we have it, the breakthrough. I've got reports coming through now that there has been a goal. Brazil pushing forward. Nine minutes to go. And yes, I have it here now, just coming through. There was a goal, and it was Erling Haaland. So the score is now Brazil 0, Norway 1. The Vikings take the lead. 7.5 minutes to go in regulation time. So there has been a breakthrough. Can Norway sustain this? Because this will be a humongous win for them if they are able to tick this time out now. They're going to be playing stout from the back, I imagine. They're going to be playing in a similar way to how Brazil played defence in the first half by getting two men behind every pass and really pressuring them. The assist will go to Locher-Room. But yes, a goal in the 79th minute, and it is Brazil 0, Norway 1, courtesy of the man himself, number 9, Erling Haaland. The Viking cowboy, if you will. '83rd minute of play now. He did a very nice job there, did Haaland, to slide in, put that ball just in at the far post there. Nicely placed pass, and it could be all over. The Brazilians do not have a lot of time, but if there is a team with the quality to strike in that length of time, it will be Brazil. This game's not over yet, but the score remains for now. Brazil 0, Norway 1. Will we see a comeback? Only time will tell. Will we see extra time? But the pressure is on now for the Brazilians. And checking the live stats, there is now only an 8% chance that Brazil go on to win this game. They remain leaders in shots, but Norway now have the better efficacy with those shots and remain in possession 68% of this game. With now just over 5 minutes to go, I would not say that victory is assured yet, as I've said, but it certainly looks to be trending that way. But yeah, just a fun game nonetheless as well. Erling Haaland adding his 6th of the tournament, so he now sits one behind Mbappe and Messi at the top of the Adidas Golden Boot race as well. So it's going to be extremely fun to see how that all plays out. Who's going to be taking home the trophy as well? Only 5 more minutes to go. And after this game, I do have a short break. And then I will be back, as I say, with the Frequent Flyers family to present to you the big one. As far as the British Isles are concerned, Scotland have had their chance, but no, it will be England tonight across in Mexico City. Will the altitude be a factor? Will they be able to let Harry Kane loose against the Mexicans? Will the heat play a factor? These are all big questions that will be answered in just a few hours' time. But as I say, there's still a few more minutes to go in this game. And we know how the World Cup goes. There have been a few shocks along the way. So I am prepared for any eventuality. But as I say, after the 79th minute strike from Erling Haaland, we sit on the 86th minute and it remains Brazil 0, Norway 1. And I appreciate everyone who stopped in and showed some love. We have been going for just shy of 2 hours now to present the game. So I appreciate everyone who stopped in for even a second. So shout out to Maggie for her kind words and her comments. Shout out to my brother Odin as well. As I say, I will be talking to you both very, very soon in the DMs. So holla at you, boy. But with that being said, time's ticking down. Brazil need to get some work done here. It looks like it's closing down for them. It's down to 6% live win probability for the Brazilians. And it's not a result that I was expecting. When I called this before the game, my gun to head result was a prediction of 2-1 Brazil. So unless they really get going, but I mean, we've seen earlier on in this tournament that a team can score 2 goals in 3 minutes. So it's not done till it's done. It ain't over till it's over, as they say. And I appreciate every one of you for sticking through the nail biting action to close this one out. But as I say, Brazil trying to take control, trying to break down, trying to get men behind the ball, get it upfield and obviously into a scoring position. And it's gone, and the window is definitely closing for the Brazilians now. Down to 4%. There is still a chance they can take this into extra time, but they need to be more decisive with those long balls forward. They need to make sure that they're trying to get a Brazilian head on that. But Norway are very, very disciplined from the back, as we've seen in spells throughout this game. And as I say, neither is that Norwegian keeper a joke. He has had a good performance tonight. He's been solid. Saving the penalty, of course, as well in the first half from Bruno Guimaraes. So Brazil have had chances. They may beat themselves up if they do go on to lose this game. On paper, a lot of people did have Brazil as the natural favourites to progress. But it shows that there has been a bit of a changing of the guard with some of these up-and-coming players. And I know, as I say, it's just his first World Cup and his first appearance on the grand stage, if you want to talk about Erling Haaland. He's only 26 years old, so he has potentially another 2 World Cups ahead of him, maybe even 3. So it all depends on how Norwegian football progresses after this tournament. But certainly, even if Brazil were able to equalise and then go on to eliminate Norway, Norway have made a fantastic impression of themselves, and it's going to see a lot more money and a lot more investment and eyes on football in Norway as a whole. So it's going to be great to see. And there we go, on the edge of the 90th minute, Erling Haaland has scored again. It is Norway 2, Brazil 0. And with that being said, Erling Haaland has also tied Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe at the top of the Golden Boot race with 7 goals. It is Brazil 0, Norway 2. And there is no way back for the Brazilians now. Brazil will be kicking themselves. But there is nothing you can do against that. Another assist courtesy of Andreas Schlederup. So bringing him on as a substitute was definitely the right decision for the Norwegians. But they have done basically the exact same move. He's come down low. And it's been too much for the Brazilians handle it. It's 2-0. There will be added on, but it is slowly ticking out for Brazil. Their World Cup dream may be over. But all kudos to Norway. They came out in the second half with purpose, and Erling Haaland is a bad, bad man. What a game. 6 minutes to go. I don't see any way for the Brazilians to come back into this now. They just did not have enough possession. Not only have Norway controlled the ball, but they've had better efficacy in front of goal. And as a result of that, you see this self-evidently in the scoreline. It is now extremely unlikely that the Brazilians can come back into this. I think that was the killing blow. And I will break this down. 627 passes from Norway to 287 from Brazil. 92% pass accuracy to Brazil's 89, 67% possession to Brazil's 33, and 5 shots on target to Brazil's 3. So although Brazil have been in this game for much of the game, Norway have proved themselves more effective in front of goal. And that has been the difference right there. If you want to talk about who won this leg of the debate, this leg of the argument, or tete-a-tete, or whatever you want to call it, then it would be Haaland. Here he goes out and gets another brace. He goes straight back, ties the top of the Golden Boot race as well. So it's amazing to see for the Norwegians. And if they can hold on for 4.5 more minutes, the game will be over and they will be the third team into the quarterfinals. And now just 4 minutes to go. And I am still here. I'm just going to go off cam real quick for you. But yeah, I mean, just a decisive second half performance. I think we would all agree by Erling Haaland grabbing 2 goals in 11 minutes to basically see to it that Brazil will be going home more than likely. So we have seen the last, at least for now, of the 5-time world champions, which is not something that I was necessarily expecting to say at the start of this show. But that's again the beauty of the World Cup, is you never quite know what's gonna come at you next. So with that being said, it gives me even more reason to be excited for the Mexico-England game to come, because if you want to keep it here and keep it Celtic, then we will be sure to give you another game of excitement, thrills, hot takes, Scottish stylings, as you know and love. So as I say, the night is far from over, but what an end to this match. Erling Haaland has taken control and he has snuffed out any chance of a Brazilian comeback. Clock winding down now, only 2 minutes or so until the final whistle blows. It's all at the referee's discretion, but I think it's now a foregone conclusion. I don't think there is any way back for the boys in yellow and blue, I should say. But what a performance in the second half by Norway. What a performance. They ought to be proud of this one. As I say, for a team coming to their first World Cup knockout phase, as I say, being drawn against some stiff opposition along the way, with France in the group and all that good stuff, but they have put themselves together. Haaland has taken control. Schlederup has been the supply man from the bench, and it's just been too much for Brazil tonight. That was the defining factor. And I told you coming into this game, guys that are watching, that the most important factor for this game would be who is more efficient with the ball. Was it going to be Haaland or was it going to be Vinicius Jr.? And I think over the last 90 minutes, we've got our answer. And at least tonight, that answer was Erling Haaland. So we now have just under a minute and a half to go in the game. And as I say, at this point, it's pretty much pretty much done and dusted. So I will kind of start to close things out, and I'll just over obviously the next couple of minutes. But at the end of the day, as I say, an absolutely stellar result. A shocker, you could say, for Norway, given obviously the gap in the world rankings. But I mean, yeah, what a team Norway have assembled. Can they go all the way? Is the question. It's going to be very intriguing to see what happens next, who they're going to be playing as well, because as I say, we will be bringing you the late game as well. God being good. So I will basically start patching things up now for this show. I get myself a little hydration break, as we say, and get back into it. So what I'll do is I'll throw open the Q&A section. Just for the last 2 minutes of added time, just so that if you want to ask any questions, if you have any takes on the game tonight, the game coming up, or the USA game tomorrow, or if you want to talk some Braves, some Hawks, some Falcons, whatever you've got for me, just throw it down in the chat below. As I say, if I miss you, leave it in the comments section and I will get back to you. So just stay tuned for more of the upcoming watch parties, because we're going to try and grind it out through the rest of the tournament, because we've been having fun with it. So be sure to step back into the locker room with us real soon. As we said earlier on, we are looking for more panelists as well. So if you enjoy this content, the style of show, and you want to be part of it, as I say, there's a lot of different avenues that we will be covering going into the season, not just in the world of sports, but in the worlds of music and pop culture as well. So, as I say, there's a ton of stuff that we can get into, but I digress. With that being said, time is almost up. We're at the 97th minute of 97, and we are just awaiting the referee's final whistle to confirm what we pretty much already know at this point. I told you that one goal would decide it, but the momentum shifted all the way into the fold of Norway, and they have done their best with it. So that is just what needs to be said. Just a phenomenal performance by the Norwegians. But what has also been a phenomenal performance by is yourselves down in the chat. I appreciate you so immensely for spending the last 2 hours and some with me. I will be back to do it again, because at the end of the day, this is a labour of love. I work hard to give you these shows and give you guys this platform to obviously have an all sports chat with your boys across the pond. So we will keep that coming. We'll keep the international vibes rolling. As I say, we'll have the special guests coming up very, very soon. And trust me when I say we have a long line of very interesting, obviously accredited and obviously very, very knowledgeable sports media personalities coming on in the not too distant future. So if you want to keep it here, keep it Celtic, we have a huge season 2 loading up for you guys. But in the meantime, they've went over the 7 minutes added, so we are now into the 99th minute. As I say, I think this is just due to the physicality of the game. There has been a few knocks. Obviously, you have the hydration break as well to take into account, but we are pretty much out of time here. The Brazilians have done nothing to come back into this game. But no, as I say, I want to take this opportunity for whoever stopped in and showed some love to your boy to show appreciation back. If you're looking for me on the socials, I'm on everything at Will the Thrill Waddle. So if you just search Will the Thrill Waddle or AFN International, you should find me. There's also the Locher-Room on YouTube as well, as you see in the top right, where we'll be doing all our non-Falcons content as well. I will also be bringing back the Real Spill solos very, very soon. Possibly with some special guest chats as well. So keep your eyes peeled here, because there's a lot in the pipeline, as I say. So with that being said, we're almost 100 minutes deep into this game. We're basically just at the referee's discretion as to when he's seen enough. I think Brazil have seen enough. I think I've seen enough to be convinced that Norway will be a threat going forward for the remainder of the tournament. Brazil have pulled one back, and Neymar has scored a penalty. He was filled in the box. He was taking it himself. And on the 100th minute, Neymar has converted a penalty. So it is Brazil 1, Norway 2. Your boy called 2-1, but I had it the other way. And just a little bit of excitement to close out the game as well. one more goal to have some fun with. But we knew in a game as physical as this that there was going to be some action in the box. And as you see, 2 penalties for Brazil, 1 missed, 1 converted. So they are going to be again thinking about that Bruno Guimaraes miss, that fantastic save by the Norwegian keeper, which obviously has prevented the score from being 2-2. But just, yeah, a lot more action-packed than I expected it to be. We are now into minute 11 of the 7 added. Do Brazil have the time? Do Brazil have the will to go get one more and tie this and take it to extra time? The live win probability is not even showing anymore because it's so up in the air. But there surely can't be much more time. It's got to be over. Closing in on 12 minutes of added time, and the referee has finally blown it. So there you have it. There is the final result, ladies and gentlemen. The surprises keep coming in this World Cup. So to close, again, an extremely exciting last, 2 hours plus that we have had. It's been an immensely fun time spending it with you. I appreciate everyone who took the time to stop and show love. So a tip of the headscarf to Maggie and to Odin. Keep the comments coming, keep the questions coming. You know I love it more than anything else. Just keep the red and blacks coming. Let me know you're here in support, because very soon we got to be changing this background. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be coming back in just a couple of hours' time to present the Mexico-England showdown for you, live from El Estadio Azteca. But in the meantime, as I say, thank you so much for being with me for the last 2 hours. The game was high-paced, it was high-profile, it was high-pressure, and it has ended in a 3-goal thriller, as I expected it would, but not with the expected winner. It is Brazil 1, Norway 2. So with that being said, we will have a lot to talk about. I will be talking a lot with Deano and Daze about potentially how this quarterfinals is now going to shape up with the 5-time world champions eliminated. But that's a chat for another time. In the meantime, shout out guys once again for spending the last 2 hours with me, and just remember, as always, we love our ATL here in Scotland. And before I wish you good evening, for now, Dirty Birds, just one last reminder. And if there are any Falcons, any Dirty Birds fans watching from over in Brazil, then this one is especially goes out to you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, never ever forget that pain is international, but so is passion. Thank you once again for joining me. I've been your boy, Will the Thrill Waddle, and I will see you for England versus Mexico. Peace.